Good afternoon, everybody, or morning or evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to the Global Speedrun Association stream today, and to our first match, the Group A decider for our Super Mario 64 70-star tournament between Copitz and Shansss. Now, before we get started, I want to mention a bit of a special circumstance that we're having today. This race did occur at a prior event. This was pre-recorded, and we are watching the live results. We do not know what happened, but due to, I guess, scheduling conflicts, they couldn't play it during a streamable window. So we are going to witness the results today. Betting is disabled for this match, and we still don't know. I have no idea. Electric doesn't know, and we're going to be with you all the way through. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty great, and I'm still super excited to see this match. Like you said, only the runners and the facilitator that arranged the comparison, only them know the results. Most of the GSA staff don't know. We don't know. Even our own restreamer, Steve Broyle, does not know. So we got the guys started now. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to this race. We got Shansss, that keyboard warrior, and Copitz, a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, though I think we should call him like the 100 bitrate warrior or something.
Exactly right. We'll have to see just how much data moshing occurs. That's something I honestly look forward to when Copitz is in a race.
Yeah, I imagine we'll probably see Copitz's stream cut out a little bit. It's not spliced, don't worry. All right. Okay, I actually do want to say this. Copitz has been Copitz and Jogi, not Jogi. Jogi is 0-3. Shansss and Copitz are both 1-1. So the winner of this match, which technically happened but we don't know, is actually the one who's going to move on in the tournament. So this is huge. This is the do or die for both of them. Shansss going ahead, getting lack to skip. Copitz as well.
Let's see how they end up handling bomb clip. And yeah, I mean, they've got to be feeling the pressure in this run, knowing that whichever one does not come out on top, they're out of the tournament for good.
Yeah, with someone like Cheese in your group, you can't even expect it to beat him. So it is just kind of all right, out of the rest, which of us is going to tough it out? So Shansss coming in here with his bomb clip. That looks so weird. I think he just has to do it that way because of keyboard angles. But you saw Copitz did it much faster.
Yep, catching up despite the slight lack of sync, it looks like. About a second off between our timers,
yeah.
But
Copitz has a 1 second lead.
Which is not a bad way to exit bomb clip. With a successful Lakitu skip, no major mistakes on bomb clip.
In fact, that lead's been... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's definitely 1 second lead is where you want to be leaving that bomb on battlefield for the first time.
Yeah, funny you should say that, though, because Copitz is going directly into Wombs. He's skipping the slide first. So, Copitz has, a 0.1 second lead now because Shansss' Wombs 9 will save about a second in castle movement. So it's we're back to 0.
Yep, that is pretty funny. I didn't realize that. I'd always thought the Wombs movement was actually optimal.
I mean, it's not bad, but... Usually people do the fancy wall kick to get to the side first. Shansss got a 13-1 or something, so not the fastest. You see him entering the door now.
And I do wonder...
Copitz.
Ooh, Copitz missing that.
The piranha hit him in the butt.
Already getting bullied, and he's not even to land yet. Now, the rest of this 100 coin seems to be going decently well for him, but...
Copitz did a movement that you hardly ever see. What he did was he... skipped the ring of coins where optionally you would get about half of it, then get kind of the red on the arrow or the coins on the arrow and the red on the concrete block. But Copitz actually elects to long jump over there, which makes it maybe a little bit easier, but loses half a second. So just not something you see people do much nowadays, but it is a viable alternative if you don't like the regular movement. I guess it's a bit safer.
Yep. And I mean, if you're not confident in going for that standard kind of crescent moon setup, I definitely wouldn't bother with it. Shansss now going for his cannonless, using that good old sock folder setup, real reliable. Nice. Yeah, we have seen a couple. Oh, and Copitz getting a bonk going for his cannonless.
Oh, but no, he's falling down though. What's going on, Copitz? Get together, bub. He's got a triple jump back up here, go all the way up to Owless. Or Yeah, he was doing outlets. Like that tiny mistake, just like a few pixels separated him from getting the fence clip versus the fence bonk. And the fence bonk probably cost him like 15 seconds. Crazy.
Exactly right. I mean, his recovery looked kind of nice at first, but just sliding too far off and landing all the way down in that flower field. Now, Shansss going in for his 100 coin. Looks like he's going to get a pretty handy half cycle. Oh, no.
Yeah, he's got
half cycle.
I thought he was going for the half cycle skip, but I guess he just made a little mistake and decided to go for half cycle.
Yeah,
so he has opportunity to save some more time over Copitz. Copitz getting the Womp King already. You know, very interesting star order decision because he's going to be facing a lot of lag here on out due to the fortress.
Well, in a previous race, we watched him, and he actually does the menuing back to the first star whenever he goes for these subsequent stars. Seems a bit odd. You know, you could avoid that situation entirely by just not doing Womp right there. But Copitz, I guess he just wants to have that little bit of a break in the middle of Womps, which I don't blame him. It's a difficult stage.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, you know? Like, I didn't realize he actually menus back to the first star, so props for catching that out. Shansss, meanwhile, he's going to go for Wild Blue. You know, I'm kind of surprised Shansss is going for that kind of strat because if you do the camera setup, you can just hold notches, which is probably a bit more optimal for keyboard anyway, but like you see Copitz doing the setup there with Mario Cam. He didn't get actually a good rollout off of the tiny ledge, but he still saved a bit of time in the Wild Blue. Overall, Shansss had to climb a good bit up the tree.
Although, I do wonder, are the notches positioned at exactly 45 degrees?
Yeah, I assume, like, for keyboard, like, W, A, S, and D are, like, 100, and maybe, like, the diagonal would be, like, 100, 100, or maybe it would be, like, 80 and 80 or something. I'm not actually sure what the diagonals would be, but I'm sure it is, like, a symmetrical input.
So definitely odd that he's not going for that simple camera manip. Meanwhile, Copitz going ahead and finishing out Womps. Down a Princess's Secret slide star, but, you know, we'll see how fast Shansss is able to complete his last Womp star and how fast Copitz is able to complete that slide. Now, we did not take a real guess on Shansss' first slide, but we have an opportunity here with Copitz. I'm thinking, you know, with that bit rate, I'm thinking we're going to end up seeing a 12-7.
Okay.
You know, he's going to be doing a little bit of that behind-the-scenes work.
Alright, Shansss is going to be... Oh! He long jumped off the fortress instead of ground pounding! I've done that before, but... I was going to say, the time difference between the slide and the fortress is about 20 seconds. So we would have seen Shansss about 20 seconds in the lead. But now, we're only going to see him about 10 seconds in the lead because he fell off of the fortress.
Exactly. You know, just... looks like just barely a lead at this point. In fact, both of them are going to be going for their second slide at around the same time, interestingly.
Okay, it's like not even 5 seconds. The fortress was a big mistake because he had to wait for the elevator to come all the way down.
You know, now we see Shansss with that nice clean mount. I think he's going to be pretty reliable with a 13-something.
I want to say 13-2.
I think Copitz is going to reduce down to a 12-9. Ooh, 13-3. Ooh, wow. That Copitz... tiny little bobble, I thought you got it.
Yeah, Copitz actually did not save time because he missed the box. But he had a faster slide than Shansss here.
Yep,
wait, what was Copitz's first slide?
It was a 13-3, 13-4, I believe.
Oh, wow. So, Copitz winning the slide war, not like a very impressive slide war on either side. Shansss way off of the twins. Copitz also as well. Way off.
You know, Shansss opting to go over, Copitz going under. You know,
yeah.
I guess they coordinated before the match and they thought that it might cancel out.
Shansss. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, they both missed the last red. What is going on?
Copitz, runners.
Copitz, he's gonna have to get it. This is his last chance. He's gonna have to land. Oh my God, Copitz, he missed it. What's going on? He doesn't have enough height. Oh my God!
Has enough. Let's hope he's able to get back to that platform. We've seen people take a bonk here before.
His wing cap's gonna disappear. Look at it, it's disappearing.
See, normally wing cap blinkless is completely guaranteed. If you don't get wing cap blinkless, there is something heavily wrong, as we've seen with Copitz right here.
It's harder to get a wing cap blinkless than actually getting wing cap without dying. Like, you have to have a pretty narrow window to land back on the castle while your wing cap is fading. I can't believe what we just saw.
That is just
Like,
insane.
Fans, I can understand you're on keyboard. You know, you can only hold like big angles. You have to like tap everything like, you know, freaking erratically and all that. But that's just insane. Shansss on
Definitely.
good pace for Shig. Meanwhile,
So I guess the cheat prevention for this match must have been missed 3 red coins in wing cap stage.
it must have been.
So we see.
Because I mean, they both missed the twins and they both missed the 8th one. So I think they're both well versed in the cheat. Oh,
Copitz taking a bonk there towards the end of Dark World. He's just losing, just hemorrhaging time at the
middle island. Hemorrhaging is a good word. This is not going well for him. I mean, it's definitely not over, but like he's not off to a good start.
Exactly right. I mean, he's going to need a transfusion, going to need one of those world-renowned surgeons to go ahead and stitch him up. And meanwhile, Shan's going to have to play a little bit more fast and loose, maybe, you know, getting a vehicle accident or something like that. I mean, Copitz definitely does not have a lot more of that time to lose.
Yeah, somebody's have to give me a heart transplant before I laugh myself to death.
Exactly.
Oh no!
Another death!
I can't believe it! Copitz, no! I feel
Copitz,
so bad for him right now.
You know, Copitz, he's just trying to ride his motorcycle down Dark World Lane. Someone sideswipes him, knocks him off, and while he's lying there in a street, a semi just runs him right over. This is not going well for him right now.
Oh no, it's brutal.
We already see Shan's going in for Sky Jump while Copitz still just trying to get the beginning of Dark World down at this point. It is that same place, the tower. I wonder if he's going to go for the alternate route, going for the cheese block red coin first instead.
Yeah, you know, poverty might be the way to go. Okay, Copitz sticking to his guns. He's going to get the red that time. Alright, now this is still a very death-prone section of the course, but he makes it through. And, yeah, okay, he's good. Goomba is nowhere near. So, we can at least say Copitz will get through Dark World on the 3rd try.
Okay, with that star grab, I didn't want to say anything just in case Commentators' curse decided to be in full effect today, but...
I don't know if my heart could take that.
Absolutely not. I know mine couldn't.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shane's had like a kind of sloppy sky jump, but like it's flying on keyboard.
Copitz just barely within range of that bomb. I seriously thought that was out. You know, I thought he was missing entirely.
Yeah, some people like to do like big wind-up throws, but if you watch like good players, like not only are they doing the minimum amount of spins to save time, but it makes the timing a bit wider because, you know, when Bowser's moving faster, you have a narrower frame window where he will actually hit the bomb. Shane's
exactly right.
Good wall kicks will work. Definitely something
happen
you
to
could
know,
die there.
Do you happen to know at full speed what the frame window is for, say, the Bowser in the Sky bombs, give or take?
You know, that's kind of a tough one because I think it could depend on like the exact speed that you're thinking, because you think of each frame, like if you think of like in terms of a circle, right? A circle is 360 degrees and Mario runs at 29.97 frames per second. So that's like 3 degrees per frame. And your bomb is probably like 15-ish degrees, maybe a bit more. You know, zombie math's coming out.
And it does kind of depend on the distance, too, because when you're closer to the bomb, some angles that may not work initially will just barely nick that bomb's hitbox. So
yeah, because like definitely like the distance to the bomb matters too, because as you were saying, like the actual like depth, or like not depth, but yeah, just the distance makes a difference as well. So I think if you're like from the very middle of the stage, trying to hit a bomb, I'd say you like. Also, I don't know how at full speed, like what your like radians per second is. Like you'd actually have to know like the angular speed of the spin, and I don't know. That would be some real like task stuff to ask somebody about. But
exactly
my best guess would be like 2 to 3 frames at max speed.
Yeah, definitely can't be very large. It's definitely harder than a wall kick, I would say. Wall kick is about
Yeah,
4 to 5
I can
frames.
agree. Electric still holding on to the hope that a wall kick may only be 4 frames. Shansss doing 2 wall kicks to escape the slide room. That was kind of funny. I don't know if you saw, but the backup there for getting a firstie is just a wall kick again.
Yeah, I did notice that. That was pretty great.
Oh, Copitz almost fell off! Okay, he long jumped underneath the star. You need like 2 or 3 running frames for long jumping out of the door. Otherwise, you're actually going to go underneath the star. And Copitz did that. And if you're like, in autopilot and just holding direction, you're not like looking at your screen, you can fall off and die. Luckily, Copitz did not die to that. But just saying, like, some more nerve-wracking situations for Copitz to deal with.
Exactly. I mean, with how far behind he is, that's definitely not something you want to see. And so both these guys look like they're doing CCM 17. What star do you think they'll end up adding in to go ahead and replace that 18th?
I don't think either of them are doing HMC late, so I guess they'll just be doing a single plus and then SL Reds is my guess. I don't think Copitz will be doing double plus either to get the 30 stars. It'd be kind of weird for a race. Maybe
Shansss
he's feeling really desperate now, like being so far behind, or at least he probably would assume he's far behind at this point. Maybe he'll try double plus. Who knows?
Could be. Now, Shansss having a bit of trouble with the wall kicks to get into this big boo area, and having a bit of trouble with the boo himself, too.
Yeah, this commentator not paying close enough attention to the actual game. Too busy doing mental maths and theorizing. All right.
And
so
you know what?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Shansss with these kind of bobbles there. Let's see if he cleans it up in his second run through in BBH. But he could just be driving down Dark World Lane and seeing that traffic accident Copitz has caused, and that rubbernecking may be costing him a bit of time. Maybe not driving as precisely anymore.
Yeah, it really could be the case.
But seems like he's started focusing back on the road again, driving that straightforward route. And so he'll be leaving BBH and heading down into the basement. So here's where we're going to see. Now, if I were Shansss, I'd actually be somewhat tempted to go for double P-less right here if I knew that I was this far ahead. You got the time to waste if it fails once or twice. And if it fails once or twice, no harm, no foul. You still have SL Reds later. But being able to get that, like, missing star out of the way early, I think would be a pretty nice boon with how far ahead he is.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
As we see Copitz just entering that courtyard as Shansss gets that MIPS grab, so pretty substantial time difference right now.
I want to say, like, it all comes down to your own evaluation of plus, because depending on the strat you do, or just in kind of general, like, the amount of hours you put into it, you might be like 50%, 75%, but like, if you're 50%, there's no way you're going for double plus, because you have 4 tries to get it twice, so you're really rolling the dice there. If you're 75%, you get 4 tries to get it twice. It's like, all right, I might miss it once. I can get my talons back up, and if I miss it again, I'll get a shiny top the pyramid, and you can kind of rationalize it. But
we see Shansss, having troubles with both pillarless and the backup, not able to go ahead and get up to the Talon Star. And he got a great bomb to start, but just could not get over that hill, throwing the bomb away, trying to get over.
Yeah.
Copitz definitely saving time on the big boo on the roof. Much cleaner execution, not having issues with those wall kicks, getting that fight just super handy.
Yeah.
Shansss going for pillarless again. Okay, so this time he's able to make it over the hump, and it's good. So that definitely kills any hope of a double P-less, I think, because, I mean, that level of mistake at the beginning, it has got to have you frazzled at least a bit.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I got it over with. You're not going to put yourself back in the inferno,
Exactly right on that.
Excuse me.
Yep, and we see him now going ahead for the Talon Star. Now, let's see. Okay, he's able to get a better long jump this time. Previously, he ended up having that long jump eaten by a ground pound.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just a little bit too far off the platform at that point. Getting that star pretty handy. I think that may actually be it with SSL for him.
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
Going into Lethal Lava Lane now, going to finish with 29 stars, so we'll be doing HMC early. Copitz coming into SSL now. I would say that he's making up a bit of time and has the potential to make up a good amount more here in SSL. The thing is, like, Shansss, he's very far ahead now, but he has not had a very good run, and I think, like, mental mistakes can kind of compound. So, like, if he doesn't know that he's ahead, which obviously, like, I don't think he could, because it's pre-recorded. I don't think, like, actually, I don't know, but, like, regardless, like, he could end up making a lot more slip-ups here in Lethal Lava Lane and onwards.
And that is true, unless the GSA staff member that made sure to monitor the results of this race, unless they actually gave the runners, Copitz missing the star and having to get out of the star, or out of the sand, sorry. Unless they provided these guys with some way to see each other's progress, they could just be completely blind in this race, unaware of each other's progress.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate, but I just don't know. And Copitz, like, missing an opportunity to save time there. He went for the challenge backup. Oh, misses the bomb again. Now he's going to have to get shining atop the pyramid. Just when Copitz had a window, he's not really taking advantage of it here.
But it looks like we may be having a repeat of Copitz versus Drogi yesterday, where he just could not get that pillarless, kept getting bombs he didn't like, kept missing getting over that first sand dune. I mean, see, right there, having go ahead and respawn the bomb now. Let's see if he's able to go ahead and break this habit.
You're cursing this, because, like, at this point, it is just a trend, I guess. It's not been going well. Okay, that bomb grab looks very sketchy. When you try to grab the bomb, like, the slope can do very funny things. If you're standing on the slope, you cannot grab the bomb. If the bomb lands on the slope, you cannot grab the bomb. But Copitz was in, like, kind of the middle section, so he could grab the bomb.
Yep, and definitely clean execution on the ending there. A bit worrisome going into that box. If the bomb hits that box, it's done, and you're so close to the end of pillarless that has to hurt. Now, Shansss got bullied a little bit by those triple bullies, and Copitz, catching up to him in Lethal Lava Land. He was a full SSL behind, but seems to be making some decent progress towards making that gap up. But I stand corrected, taking a burn there, having to lose a few seconds, waiting for Mario to be able to walk again. Okay, so Shansss going for Lava Boost here, and very nice, clean Lava Boost. Let's see if he's able to finish out.
Really good. At least Lava Boost is one of those things that you do in 16 star, and Shansss is, like, very good in 16. He had the EMU world record for a while. So at least, Lava Boost is definitely in his comfort zone. But I do want to point out, because, like, we just kind of, or at least I glossed over it, because, oh no, Copitz! He didn't get a long jump, he's burned twice, he's on 2 HP! He's gotta be very careful to make this long jump. Okay, he gave himself plenty of room. Okay, going for the bullies now. Better grab some coins.
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to mention that Copitz... Shansss fell off the elevator pole! He's dead!
Oh,
at the
man.
Very top. He missed the jump to roll out onto the little stone before the star. He fell into the little gap, and just pixels caused the death and a loss of quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and even though they respawn inside the volcano, you do have to think, they're so close to the star right there, they gotta be kind of mentally done with the stage. And so to have a mistake like that, I think Copitz must have just fallen in love with the lava. Maybe he doesn't think it's lava. He might think that it's blood that he needs for that transfusion. Who knows?
Maybe. Maybe he's self-loathing so much, he's like, I deserve this. And then he burns himself. Okay, what I was trying to say earlier, before, people kept dropping more spaghetti, that, Copitz actually, while we're wasting so much time, was him actually doing double pillarless, like you said. Like, or at least I'm pretty sure he did, because he had CCM 17, and he's going to finish LLL with 30 stars, so he must have done the second pillarless. I didn't really see him do the inside the pyramid movement, I just wasn't paying attention. But I'm 99% sure he actually did double pillarless, and that actually lost him a ton of time, just trying to get the bomb.
Yep, definitely did not exactly pay off for him. So we see Shansss going into HMC early now, getting a pretty handy first star. Let's see if he can go ahead and close out this HMC.
So it's only 2 stars behind.
Yeah, not a bad look at this point. And, there is kind of the possibility. I'm not exactly certain. We could have potentially missed one of the stars that he grabbed, so he may actually be.
Kobe needs to watch out here. Yeah, he got him on the fire. I knew it. I knew. Oh, he's alive. What is this? Copitz a madman. I can't believe what I'm watching right now. How? Oh, he's dead. What is going on? I can't take it. This game is too much.
He was trying to play it safe by doing the jumps instead of the rollout, but it did not work out for him, falling in that just small gap. You know, any bit closer to the camera, he would have been able to just land on the platform. Any farther away, he would have ledge grabbed. Just the perfect storm of bad luck right there.
Oh,
and getting burned again. Gonna go ahead and take this death again.
No!
Lethal Lava Land is truly showing its lethality today.
Oh, it's so lethal. You know, I think at some point we need to ask GSA if they're not showing us the same video for both runners, because some of the mistakes that they've made are literally exactly the same. Okay, let's see if Copitz will not die here. Yes, okay, he actually watched out for the fire. Now will he climb all the way up the pole?
Bad boulder RNG.
Or do something like normal? Oh wow, you're right. He almost pulled off the Toast Rider. Toast Rider triple.
And so Copitz finally getting that top of the volcano star. Okay, so he must have done a double pillarless. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought that we would have noticed the secrets movement, because that does take just a little bit of time.
Yeah. I must have not been paying attention, but like I think you were right on the money when you said that you know, he might do something drastic to try to catch up, and like getting a fast start like pillarless could really help him get it back on the right track, but it did not happen. So I wonder if
Christmas miracle, and he gets it. Very nice.
So I'm guessing Copitz is gonna leave basement now. Yep, there he goes. Quick bonk.
Going ahead and taking that bonk there. I mean, he just cannot catch a break at the moment. Yeah. So Shansss is up in HMC, but Copitz is going to be going upstairs faster. And if he's able to pull off a good upstairs, that could really be his saving grace in this run. That could be, you know, that ambulance that swoops in just in the nick of time to go ahead and take him to that hospital. I mean, and we've seen him just take the injury after injury all over the place. You know, he got up and tried to walk off all the, you know, awful vehicular accidents from Dark World, and then just bam, Lethal Lava Street just completely bulldozers him. Literally, a bulldozer just comes over and smashes him down. And I mean, he just can't catch a break in this basement or in the lobby. So upstairs is really his only option to really catch up at this point.
Copitz learning about the very hostile neighborhood of Super Mario 64. It's not a good place.
You know, you want to stay on the sidewalks. That's why they tell you in safety classes, always walk on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be running into, geez, I don't know. If there was anything that you could put like something in any stage that Copitz has like completely failed or like had like just so much trouble with, you know. Like you definitely don't want to run into pillarless down a dark alley, I'll tell you what, but Shansss and DDD now. What?
So interestingly, because of the routes these two guys are taking, when they go upstairs, we're going to be seeing near identical routes until Copitz ends up having to go to HMC late after Snowman's Land. So if Copitz is able to gain enough of a visual lead throughout the upstairs, you know, that could be a sign that he's really catching up. But for back sub not quite working for him. His depth perception, I think, is just a little bit off today for some reason. Seems to be cutting a lot of jumps just a bit short.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. That's a good point. A lot of his mistakes have been just very narrow, like mistimed jumps or something along those lines. Okay, Shane's going for the sub now.
Ooh, going for side sub, actually.
Side sub, let's go.
Pulling out that swag and missing the star, though, wasting all of the time that he just saved through side sub.
I'm surprised he pulled off the side sub at that kind of angle, because he barely had enough room to actually get over on the top of the sub. Like, he was going up a pretty steep part of the slope. So I'm pretty surprised he made it with that setup. Okay, Copitz finishing up Dire Docks. Shansss, he missed a ring. Let's see if he can get this fifth one. Okay. Sometimes that fifth one will just send you for a loop, and then, you know, you're chasing the manta ray for like 30 minutes.
Exactly. Now we're seeing Copitz go into Fire Sea. Let's see how this goes for him, because this could really save him a lot of time.
All right, looks good so far. That'll wall kick up to the pole. Eating a lot of lag here. There's several reductions that you can do, but Copitz not really bothering with them. He gets the coins, but I think due to brushing it up against the cage a little bit, he might be having some trouble making lava boost. It's going to be very tight. I think he's still on for it, but just barely.
Now let's see. Okay, looks like he's going for it. And it's good. Okay, let's see if Shansss can go ahead and match. Good performance from Shansss so far. Taking that ledge grab, they're going to waste a little bit of time. So I'm not thinking he'll be able to go for lava boost. But still have a pretty good shot at early LEs. Copitz with that good ending. That is the fire seed that he wanted out of this. Yep, Shansss completely burning any chance of...
Shansss almost... What was that from Shansss? What is the spatial awareness necessary to understand that you can land on the platform in that situation? That's kind of ridiculous.
So, I guess a lava boost in the normal cycle?
3 HP. Okay, he got the coins. There was a universe in which he did not grab the coins. The amp shocks him, and then he gets hit by the lava and he dies. So could have been really bad. I mean, obviously that's a low probability thing to happen, but I mean, you never know. This race is, proved me wrong countless times already.
Exactly right. Shansss missing the star entirely. Gonna have to get all the way back up there.
Has a lot of trouble today with long jumping instead of ground pounding. You saw the top of the fortress. Seems like an eternity ago, but he fell off by doing a long jump instead of a ground pound. Same thing. Okay. Deja vu. It's happening.
Okay, so Copitz manages to exit Fire Seat at 30-12. Let's see when Shansss exits. Now, Copitz is probably going to have to make up, if I had to guess, 2.5 to 3 minutes of time. And this is definitely gaining him probably, a good minute or so.
Yeah, HMC is about a 3-minute split. And Shansss will have SL Reds to do, I'm guessing. So he's looking at like a 2-minute lead.
Yep, so... based on how long the key animation should take, give or take, I'm thinking that Copitz has about a minute of those 3 that he needs. Let's see if he can clench out even more of that time. Yep, about 48 seconds or so, exiting that pipe at 31 exactly. So Copitz executing these wall kicks really well.
Yeah, that was good. Usually people start off with 100 coin, but Copitz probably saw that as like the most problematic thing to handle. So he went after it and he got it done. So maybe this puts some confidence in him going forward.
I would definitely hope so. Shansss about to join him in Wet Dry World.
And if you got some confidence in your own Mario knowledge, you could always bet on these SM64 races at buy.gg. Heh. Our sponsor for the Super Metroid Odyssey and SM64 tournaments. If you are of legal age and in the country where it's legal, you can always hit !bet in the chat to check them out and see if you'd like to participate. Not in this race, of course, but for most of the other ones, betting will be available. It's PvP betting, by the way, so you'll actually be entering in a pool with other players, maybe people that you know.
Yep, and it's definitely a way to kind of spice up the entertainment level of these races. Now, what was kind of funny is during that promo,
I'm glad no.
Well, the way that you said Super Metroid Odyssey, it kind of sounded like you were saying it all as one thing, and I started wondering, what would Super Metroid Odyssey look like?
That's a good question.
I'd be really excited to see Samus doing a bunch of flips, throwing her various suit all around to get jumps off of.
I mean, I could imagine that'd be pretty insane.
Plus, I'd love to see, a Metroid game where you can actually capture a Metroid.
That would be pretty fun. Like all the pretty iconic Metroid enemies, maybe not the bosses, but a lot of just like the common enemies, and you can capture them. That'd be pretty fun.
For the final escape from Planet Zeebs, you'd have to capture Ridley and go through that whole escape.
Now you're talking.
Commentators coming up with $1 million ideas. Nintendo, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of a trademark on this. Now, can you trademark unique ideas on existing IPs?
No.
Is there a lawyer in chat that can help us?
I think some people in GSA have some amount of experience. I don't know, though. I would imagine no, you can't patent Super Metroid Odyssey TM. But
God. And here I thought I had it made.
I mean, who knows? In the meantime, like, both of them have not been having the best wedge art world anyway, but like, it's been okay. Nothing like catastrophic.
Yeah,
Copitz has
Copitz's
been holding it
HMC
together.
100 looked pretty good, pretty solid.
Yeah, oh, Chan with the ledge grab, avoiding that amp as well.
That was just a couple of pixels away. I thought it was going to hit him. That's kind of surprising that it didn't.
Yeah, I guess like when you like if he had moved forward at all from the ledge grab, he probably would have gotten zapped. But since he was on like the very edge of the wall, he was okay.
Let's see how Copitz handles THI now.
Yeah, probably didn't see secrets coming out first. That's the camera. Oh, get the butt slide. Copitz resetting his long jump. A bit slow. Can he get the triple jump? Okay. Probably gonna go for the kick and the triple jump off that little grassy slope there. He got through it, you know. Yeah, at this point you just want to see Copitz trucking along.
Yep, you know, having that little bit of a butt slide at the beginning and a couple of issues getting up to that platform after the second secret, but overall, a pretty clean execution from Copitz. We see Shansss about to join him in THI, so let's see how he handles the rest of it. The rest of it isn't super bad. You're having to go to the top of this island and also going to have to take care of the pest problem with the piranha plants. Now, we did see Copitz earlier actually getting a bit bullied by a piranha, so we'll see if that trend continues with these piranhas, you know, if they told their friends about it. But, you know, I'm kind of guessing not. Copitz not going for the mountain clip for the top. Shansss not even going for the clip to get that secret right there, interestingly.
Yeah, I think he just got his angle screwed up. I changed making sure he's on the right face of the mountain. You know, definitely good to make sure you're not going to be sliding off to God knows where. I personally have, on rare occasions, actually just slid off the wrong side of the mountain and like, oh, what am I looking at? It's like the area where Copitz is now, and I'm like, okay, how'd I get here? And yeah, you do just lose a ton of time. But yeah, Copitz going to be wrapping up THI.
And with the camera angle you get during that jump, it can be kind of hard to determine if you're on the right side without taking that little bit of a, you know, half second to go ahead and change the camera, make sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're ever unsure of something like that, you really want to just waste that little half second, make sure that you're doing good, because wasting 1/2 second and not needing to is better than not wasting it and then suddenly, you know, you're losing 30, 40 seconds from the wrong side.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Shansss with a little bit of hesitation on that, continuing without saving.
So he's going to go up to the top of the mountain. A bit of a different start order, saving this one for last. You know, in THI, none of the start orders really matter. You can do them in any pattern that you want. Shansss coming up here, using the camera to get those angles.
Ooh, what's going on
here? Yeah, Copitz has missed mountain clip, or maybe he fell down off of the top.
Yeah, he fell down. He succeeded at the actual clip, but then fell back down. Kind of rough start on this TTM for him. He really just needs to take a deep breath, regain his composure, because I mean, that sort of mental mistake at the very beginning, if you let it get to you, it's going to bite you later on.
Yeah, TTM is one of those stages that bites really hard. Like, you know, he could have easily died to reds. You know, it can happen. You know, for me, like if I miss, you know, the log wall kick, I'm like kind of frustrated. You know, I don't get a good long jump angle, and whoops, I fell off the mushroom. You know, it's very precarious. You know, the surfaces of the mushrooms are very weird, and you can't guarantee a ledge grab or a wall kick to save yourself. Shane's first try wall kick, so looking pretty good against Copitz here.
Yep, and
getting that star. First
Copitz actually very, very nice from Copitz. Wow. And
you know what? I was gonna say, when you get a firstie, the speed from it is like so different than with any other wall kick frame that like it's so hard to react to it. You actually instantly let go of A and hold back if you actually want to save time with it. You know, so usually you just go for that second or third frame like you would with a normal wall kick, because it's such an important wall kick to like risk a firstie on anyway. You know, people don't really go for it unless you're doing like a single star or X-Cam kind of grind. But just the difference of the firstie is huge. You know, you skip the ledge gap, but you also just go like flying way past where you want to land.
Yep. Now,
Copitz did the same thing. What is he doing? I don't understand. Like, he's just not aware of where. Oh, he almost fell again. I think
Yeah,
Copitz is.
Oh, actually going for, going down the log rather than attempting that wall kick again. So he missed the wall kick, had to redo mountain clip, and then proceeded to almost miss mountain clip, or fall down from mountain clip, rather. This is not the performance in TTM that he needs to really make up this lead.
No, at this point, like, Shansss has kind of found his groove, I think. He's been being pretty consistent. Even if it's not, like, optimal. So Copitz is going to have to play his A game. Alright. Balk is good. Nice and clean. Rolls out directly into the star. Chan's going to set up this kind of angle. I'm guessing it's more just his keyboard limitations, but he makes it work.
Exactly. And, it's amazing to me. He probably had to come up with a lot of these setups himself, because as many resources as are available for all of these different stars, I don't believe a lot of them are keyboard focused.
True. I think there are probably some guides somewhere that guide people actually use the keyboard. But like, at least for the box jump strat, like that was just like a very old version that people used to do back in the day. Like nowadays we use Mario Cam to make it faster, but the actual like fastest strat is actually taking that kind of route. But it's like a very weird star. Like the best way to do it RTA is to just do the normal jump dives or long jumps with Mario Cam. It's one of those things that like have since evolved like a long time before I even started running this game, but it's kind of interesting to see the transformation. Oh yeah, you're right, Copitz.
Yeah,
having a lot of trouble here in SL. While
so
I'm
he
just,
didn't like his
lecturing.
angle going for the snowman's head. Both of these guys just, oh man, Shan's taking that fall there, having to deal with that sliding there, gonna try to get his way back up to the actual snowman's head.
Getting beat bomb.
It looked like Copitz was actually debating for some reason starting on SL Reds instead. Now, Shan's able to get on top of the head. We saw Copitz trying to go for the head first, but not liking the angle he was going to hit that slope. So let's see if he gets a better angle this time around.
Yeah, if he wasn't going for HMC late, I would have said, just do SL Reds for that. But, he's already done HMC late, which avoids having to do SL Reds. Good ball kick from Copitz, nailing that the second time around.
So now all he's got is the deep freeze, and he'll be heading down to HMC. So
oh, okay. I was very nervous for Shansss. His single jump off of the slope with his like really fast slide, it very barely made it over the ridge, where he would have just bonked, fell in the water, had to swim a lot, and it would not have been fun. Like actually like pixels from losing like 10-20 seconds.
Yep. Now, we see Copitz about to go ahead and go down to HMC late, so we'll be able to kind of determine how much of a lead Shansss has in just a moment.
Yeah, I think it's actually grown. I don't want to say, like, the race is over, but Shansss would have to make some big mistakes now. HMC is about 3 minutes long, and they're about 3 minutes apart now.
It's certainly not outside the realm of possibility, though. I mean, with Tippy looming in the face, Copitz could be doing some deep breathing exercises during that castle movement down to HMC and back up to Tippy, and he could have just a stellar Tippy, while Shansss, if he thinks he's in a decent lead, could be a little bit sloppy and make some severe mistakes on Rainbow Ride or the dreaded clock.
Yeah, I've seen many people lose minutes, and I'm not even exaggerating for like the purpose of the race. I'm talking about actual multiple minutes in TikTok clock and or Rainbow Ride.
It'd be rough, but still definitely possible, I would say. Okay, so Copitz is now down in the basement. Shansss is about to be going into Tippy, so probably about a 3-minute lead.
Yeah. I actually wanted to mention before the race even started that Shansss has actually had significantly better race times than Copitz or the group stage so far. Like, you lost the cheese, no one's gonna fault you for losing the cheese. But in his loss, he actually got a 51-39. And in Copitz's win versus Drogi, he was, I would say he would have gotten a 53, but he actually got a 55-04. He just had like a lot of troubles and bits, but like winning with a 53 versus losing with a 51, like Shansss is in really hot form right now. Copitz may be pretty rusty.
Exactly. Now we see a good triple box jump from Copitz while Shansss enters reset ride for the first time. So probably about a 2.5 minute lead, I'd have to say, because he was still doing some stuff in Snowman's Land whenever Copitz first entered HMC.
Yeah, we'll definitely see when Copitz gets up to Tippy.
Now, if
Rainbow
Copitz
Ride.
manages to get a good Lakitu bounce, that could save a pretty substantial amount of time since Shansss is going for the wooded route.
Yeah, making me think we're commenting Odyssey here with talking about wooded routes. Shansss pretty good on that cruiser star, you know? Consistency is paramount.
It looked like Copitz getting that Christmas miracle to match Shansss. He may have had to do the wall kick setup, not entirely sure. We're kind of focused on the cruiser crossing at the moment, but Shansss moving on into his second star in Rainbow Ride. Going ahead and go into that red coin maze, get that taken care of since he doesn't need it as a backup for the cruiser crossing star at the moment.
Yeah, starter in Rainbow Ride is pretty preferential. It's very typical to see people do cruiser first. In my opinion, it's one of the hardest stars in the run outside of 100 coins. And,
especially
for good
going
reason.
for that Lakitu bounce.
Yeah. And if you're really crazy, you try to do a glitchy wall kick. Then you try to do some really fancy pull movement. Then you try to do the double wall kicks. It's just a real high level skill star.
Exactly right. Now we see Copitz going for his rolling rocks, so should be just about finishing up with HMC. Shansss going ahead and going for the left side tricky triangles route.
Ooh, okay,
and falling underneath him
Good
instead.
back this up. Yeah, good backup from Shansss. Definitely.
And not losing much time at all.
You know, a lot of people would just go back up and hit the switch, but he knows that he can just get around the back.
Yeah, you can tell that he's definitely practiced that backup. So Copitz going up to go ahead and join Shansss in Tippy. Let's see what exactly happens now. So Shansss going ahead and going for swinging in the breeze. This is another one with a lot of death potential. So
Yeah. It's nothing
didn't
that,
exactly where he was standing, so he's going to be going the alternate route.
Okay. This triple jump can be scary too. Okay, he lands it. The backup triple jump you do actually need to land right at the top of the flame shooter. Okay, swinging the breeze is not something that you would expect people to die to, but it actually happens more than you would think. You can miss the long jump angle, you can fall off the pendulum
Copitz
people have done.
sliding off of Lakitu bounce, getting that bounce but not able to execute the kicks on the plank. Sorry for interrupting, but geez, that is not what he needed right now. And missing that first red coin in the maze. See, those were his big time saves in Rainbow Ride. It was good backup, but Shansss messing up a little bit on the maze, and of course not doing Lakitu bounce. Copitz just burned those 2 time saves right there. Shansss getting zapped by the zapper in TTC. Is this a sign of things to come? We'll have to keep watching.
I don't know. It's more like when you get to this part here, doing the triple jump wall kick, you can maybe bonk and die. But other than that, it's more like getting to the very top. So Shansss is working his way up in this 100 coin.
Yep,
I think
just about done with the quote-unquote hard part here. As long as he's able to get up here.
One of the most technically challenging and also a bit RNG dependent parts here is the very fast ending. Oh, he's not even going for the ending. Yeah, I don't think I've actually seen Shansss actually try to do the fastest method, which is you fall down from the very top to kick the box, then grab all the coins on the subsequent double jump, and then triple jump off of the kind of roundabout ledge that you would be trying to get onto otherwise. It's very precise, or you kind of need things to go your way. You have to have a good angle, and the coins can't go flying. You actually have to be in control completely to make it work. So Shansss, playing the consistent game, and I think that's definitely the better decision, as I would pretty much say for most consistent strats, but that's definitely something where you can miss a coin. If it falls all the way down, you have to chase down some other ones, get some backups, or you could die.
Exactly right. And I mean, a death on the top of TTC 100 is exactly what Copitz needs. And if he knows about that lead he has, he's not going to want any chance of that happening. Going in for the time jumps on the not moving bars.
I wonder what happened to Shansss, because usually you want to do the time moving stars, so you leave the other time stop ones as backups, but I guess he just went straight for the time jumps on moving bars. Maybe he thought it was one of the harder ones. It is a hard star, but usually you want to do the time moving ones first after 100 coin. Now, you're probably familiar with the whole top-down gang.
Oh, exactly right. You don't want to eat an ice cream cone from the bottom up unless it's just a little bit soft. Then you can bite off the bottom and suck all the ice cream through the bottom. Very clean, no mess. But in the case of TikTok Clock, you don't really have that option. It is cold as ice, unfeeling, uncaring. And we see Copitz going into his own 100 coin. Let's see how he handles this. Taking a ledge grab there, not off to a really good start. But it looks like Shansss is taking that top-down approach, which is definitely admirable. Now he's able to go straight for roll into the cage and get a hand, not needing them at all as backups. But, if you're doing that top-down approach, it's really safe because if you mess something up higher up, you're able to use those two as backups.
Also, I want to mention, I think Copitz actually got a backup red at the very beginning of TDC 100 because you have to get 5. So, Copitz has 70 coins right now, which is what you need. But Copitz missed the 5th red, which people wouldn't ordinarily get. But he must have gotten, a 6th one somewhere, so he could afford to miss it. So
it could also be that he maybe just goes for that little bit of an alternate route. Not exactly sure,
no,
but
it was the same route, just he got an extra red coin. Maybe it was...
Oh, you mean on the base level?
Yeah, where the 8 red coins
okay.
are, you normally get 5, but he got 6. And then he missed the red coin, so he's back at 5. But I thought it was a problem, but it wasn't.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Right. Okay, Shansss finishing up TTC with his reds. I mean, it's not looking good at all for Copitz.
Not bad
at all.
I want to, just kind of admire, how well he's done. He's made some mistakes early on, but, his upstairs game has been rock solid. It looks very unassuming when it goes well, but, I mean, getting it to go well is the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, when you really think back on his performance, all of his mistakes have been extremely minor stuff that was fixed within a couple of seconds. He definitely wasn't losing more than a couple of seconds at a time, and all of those times that he made those mistakes, they were pretty few and far between. Yeah, not giving Copitz really any room to catch up.
Yeah, if you think of all these mistakes, falling off the tower in Woms, failing Fire C, maybe, failing to hit the Boo and BBH, they all seem like big time losses, but he's still on, a low 52 pace.
Yep, and we see Copitz 3 stars back at the moment. Or, sorry, 4. And, I mean, unless the only thing that could happen, and I'm only saying this because this match has already taken place, Commentators Curse, not in effect.
That's true.
If Shansss misses that pipe jump at the very end of this and has to redo bits, that could spell the difference.
Yeah, I mean, could really give Copitz a shot. It's not like Shansss has a 5-minute lead here.
So,
alright, Shansss playing it safe on these cycles. See, that Goomba looks scary.
Okay, barely avoiding the Goomba. Let's see. Okay, he's in that pipe. Now, he could waste a little bit of time on Bowser. We haven't seen it yet, I don't think, but, could possibly take a death if he runs into him too many times.
Yeah, usually once
look at those spikes.
Yeah, I mean, usually once you're in the pipe, though, it's if there's this kind of a lead, you can kind of say Shansss has got it made. Because, if you die, you actually get put outside the pipe. Shansss missing that second throw, though. Still on a good 52 pace. 51 was never really in the cards after TTC. Alright, let's see what he's got here.
Ooh, Copitz taking a fall all the way to the bottom of TTC. Shansss missing another second throw. I mean, Shansss is giving Copitz what he needs, and Copitz is just saying, nuh-uh.
Yeah, I think Copitz definitely had his opportunities here. It would have taken a pretty good run to beat Shansss, but he could have done it. Copitz is a pretty decent player.
Exactly right. I mean, Shansss definitely gave him a little bit of wiggle room in Rainbow Ride. If he would have pulled off that first Lakitu bounce and pulled off a really clean red coins maze, he definitely would have made up a solid chunk of that time. But just like that, and I mean, there are a number of situations like that where every time Copitz just could not take advantage. Shansss finishing out with a 52-45. Copitz going ahead and re-entering with time stopped, going and getting that last red coin star, but it's just not enough. GG to Shansss for that good time. I mean, that's, like you said, better still than Copitz's winning time against Drugi.
Yeah, I actually want to say Shansss. Wait, I think I mentioned this already. Shansss had pretty good times in all his races in this tournament. I think if you want to put a dark horse, put him up for dark horse, I think he could definitely go far. So all he needs is a someone he's matched up against, like, you know, someone you think would beat him, just to have an off day. Shansss would kind of pull off maybe another like 51 or 52, you know? That can win you a lot of games.
And with just a bit more practice on some of the strats that gave him a bit of trouble, he definitely wasted a fair chunk of time in BBH on those wall kicks. So it's the little things like that. He just needs to go back and clean up some of his strats that maybe he hasn't revisited in a while. And that could even potentially mean him getting as low as a 50. Oh, and Copitz taking a death right at the beginning of Dark World, or sorry, in the sky. I mean, this is not what he wants. He's already kind of lost, but, you know, Bits going ahead and adding insult to injury. He's finally made his way to the hospital, but once he's there, the nurses are just laughing, rubbing salt all in his wounds.
Oh, poor Copitz.
Exactly right, poor Copitz.
Yeah, as far as stars, like, you never really know, like, what you have to practice. Like, if you only miss something once in, like, 10 runs, it's probably not, like, the biggest problem. But, like, you were saying, like, stuff like BBH tends to, like, not get practiced very often. You know, it just seems like a couple ordinary stars and they're kind of out of the way. You know, they don't really, like, take up a lot of your mental capacity there. So, like, could be, like, Shansss is just, like, you know, a bit out of shape on a couple things. But, you know, he minimized a lot of big mistakes. I don't think he died, like... I think he died, like, once. I don't even remember where, though.
Yeah, I think he may have taken a death in the volcano. That seems to be where I remember.
Oh, yeah, that's where. Yeah, I forgot all about that. The elevator tour just killed them both.
Which, again, Copitz could have capitalized on that death, but he just decided, you know what? I'm going to sympathize with you and take 3 of my own.
Yeah. It's like, hold my beer.
Exactly.
So I think that's probably about it for this race. And Copitz finishing up with 55. I don't expect we'll see any interviews from them.
Exactly right.
Yeah. But if you would like to, you know, bet on some later races, you can always type !bet in the chat, or, you know, visit buy.gg. Check them out. They're sponsoring our prize pool. That's about it.
Yep, in just
we'll be back later.
We're going to have a match between Zine and Sagotu, so stick around for that. And if not, have a great day, and we enjoyed having you here. So
actually, we are going to have Super Metroid first. Zosi,
oh, you're right.
So, the legend himself versus Robotalion. That sounds familiar. I don't really follow Metroid that much, but, you know, hopefully that'll be... Wait, unless that's been canceled. I don't know. But, yeah, Sagotu versus Zine is at 5 p.m. I think me and Electric are both commentating that as well.
Yep, so definitely stick around for the Super Metroid race, which we're hearing from the back has not been canceled. And, you know, if you haven't seen a lot of Super Metroid, you don't have to really have played the game to see the incredible skill required in that run. Very fluid-looking run. You know, imagine if you've never seen SM64 before. This run still just looks amazing. So stick around, you may learn a thing or two. And like I said earlier, we enjoyed having y'all, and we hope that y'all stick around. Peace.
Peace.